What's going on, guys? So I am super excited to start this video because I was able to purchase a Seibon, whatever you call it, carbon fiber trunk. It is just the OEM style trunk for the Evo. I've been looking for one for a few months. I didn't want to spend the money for a new one because I knew I could just restore it, and it's very simple. And I will be modifying it a little bit, adding a duckbill to it. Without further ado, let's begin. Here it is. As you can see, it's not that bad on this side. Right now it's just covered in dust because it's been sitting in my basement for a while, but you can see the gel coat yellowing. Also, it has the keyhole, which I'm gonna get rid of. And then this is where it gets really bad. This right here, the gel coat has cracked. It is in very poor shape. It's yellowing. It's just not looking so good, but that's okay because we're gonna sand it down and then do a carbon fiber a skin on it. So essentially it's like a true carbon fiber trunk. Also, like I said, I will be adding a subtle duckbill in this area. So first thing is I'm gonna pick it off, I'm gonna sand it down, fill those holes up, and then after that I'm gonna sand the whole thing down as much as I can. So the next step is basically putting on some tape behind these holes so the fiberglass Bondo doesn't go through and it has some sort of wall. So you can see the holes have tape on the back, this one. So we got some Bondo fiberglass, got the hardener. And since we're not mixing up much at all, I'm just gonna use a piece of cardboard to spread this and mix it on. Okay, so basically you want to get to this color and then you have about 5 minutes of working time. So I'm gonna quickly get over here. Fill in these holes and then others around the trunk itself, the keyhole, I'm gonna use it. Next step is to sand this flush. So is this all sanded down? Jesus. fix the edges in all places, especially over here. Just touch it up, some sandpaper. Yeah, it's gonna look good. Flip this over. Trunk hole filled up. Just a little bit of touch up. Fill in the pinholes. I'm gonna wash this, clean this up. I'm gonna run to the store. And then I'm gonna paint these spots black. So when you put the carbon sheet over it, you won't see this. And it's all gonna be that charcoal gray color. Now that I have the duckbill wing, I marked holes, little arrows where I need to drill. Got the duckbill mounted. I think it looks good. The reason being why I mounted the duckbill before I put the layer of carbon fiber on is because I do not want to drill into the brand new carbon. Next step is to wash off any grease, any markings, sanitize it pretty much, and then lay over the layer of carbon fiber. Now the duckbill removed, I cleaned up the surface. I hit some final spots with paint. That way we have, a black background underneath the sheet of carbon. Now let's go check out the sheet of carbon that I prepared here in my kitchen. I used the island of my kitchen because it is a very flat surface and it's the carbon sheet be able to lay down very smoothly, and I can cut it. I cut it to size, kind of measured. I'm gonna have some left over, but that's okay. Use it for something else. And now I just have to take this, bring it to the garage, and get it tacked on to the trunk. So I got the carbon fiber cloth on the trunk. Now that I have the cloth on, I'm just gonna add the epoxy, which I have right here. It's two-part epoxy. You got the hardener, and then you got the epoxy itself. Uh, got some measuring cups. And you want to just mix it with something. I just put a wooden popsicle stick in a drill. That way I can get a quick mix and an even consistency. And then, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. The first layer is going to take in a lot because it is going to permeate the cloth. And then after that should be, probably half of that. All right, so we got the hood here in the garage. I have my epoxy here. This is the epoxy. And then this is the hardener. But basically, this is what you want to do. And just skim this with the gel coat and get that carbon fiber epoxy in there, get it soaked. And then you also want a heat gun to get these little tiny air bubbles out of there. Right now, I'm just kind of squeegeeing the epoxy down. So all the air bubbles get forced down their own, but whatever ones don't, you just get them with the air gun or the heat gun. Right now it's a little hazy and murky because of the air bubbles. So once those get out, it's gonna be like nice and clear. All right, got the first layer of epoxy in there. It is looking decent, just for a first layer, it's always gonna look like this. This side looks amazing. So now it's just a matter of adding
2 or 3 more layers, making this whole area flat. And then getting a UV protecting clear coat on here. And, you know, it's gonna look better with, you know, 2 or 3 more coats. But for now, it looks great.
Trunk inside, it's all dry. This is what it's gonna look like. And all the little holes you see, little glossy spots, those are the low spots. Those are the spots that we couldn't get into because it was just everything around it was just higher, right? So now the next step is to fill these in. All right, so I mixed up some epoxy. It's gonna apply it into the spots where it is needed. This is after a second layer of epoxy. It's way more smoother, not as textured as the first layer. Now we're just gonna sand it down again. So just got the trunk back from the painter. You know, I gotta just clean it up here a little bit. But other than that, it came up good. Now I just have to take off that trunk. I already have somebody buying it, and then put this guy on, and then put the duckbill spoiler onto that once it's on the car. So, all right, so the trunk is on. And I ended up doing a 2-step compound and then a 2-step polish on this. And now I will be mounting this wing on here, or duckbill. I'm not entirely happy how this came out, how the clear coat came out, but it is what it is. It's a lesson learned. Cheaper is cheaper, and it does not mean that it's going to be done better. Literally, I don't know what I was thinking, really. So I'm just gonna mount the wing. So I got the duckbill on. I think it looks solid. Personally, I wish I'd put some more time into the trunk. And obviously, you know, these carbon fiber, the weave is a little messed up. So I wish I was a little bit more cautious in the process, but looks good.